19's out.
Good drop. Ground to 301. Hit the grass. Let the choppers take care of the trees. Not a bad. Alright, watch out, Ace. Oh, you're getting wet, brother. Right on. These clips are from a multiplayer live stream video we did with Ace Pilot 2K7 a few days ago. If you guys want to check out the full video, it's about an hour long and it's on his channel. The rest of the video I'm going to be going over a lot of things that I changed and improved on since the last video about a week ago. I was overwhelmed with the amount of positive feedback that everybody left after seeing the first video, and it makes me really excited to see you guys so stoked for this update. There really hasn't been a game that can simulate or portray this kind of wildland firefighting the same way that we are, where you have a whole crew aspect, ground units, airdrops, and now with this video I want to introduce a couple things that I'm really excited to show you guys. You may have already noticed, but we've got a new helicopter which is based off of the LA County Sikorsky Firehawk choppers that they use. So here you can see one of my buddies making a very smooth landing and being refilled by the ground units so that they can get back up in the air and continue the air attacks. This next clip demonstrates the rate of spread of the wildfire and shows how I added a wind dynamic where the fire will spread in the direction of the wind. So in this case, the wind is blowing towards this house. I also made it so that the fires can spread to structures. So in this time lapse, you'll see that the fire not only spreads to other trees and brush, but also spreads to the structure, which adds that dynamic where you need to not only worry about the spread of the fire through the brush, but also to nearby structures. So most of the wildfires will have a property that gets threatened and you have to protect it. In this clip, it shows one of the other wildfires that we were battling in the beginning of the video. However, there's no intervention, so this shows how it speeds down the valley and spreads into the barn. I was able to optimize the wildfires, which really unlocks a lot of potential, meaning that we can make these massive wildfires with little impact to performance. So if you watched the last video, you could tell there was a lot of stutters and a little bit of lag, but in this video I managed to iron out a lot of those issues with frame rate, and it's a much smoother experience now. Another thing I really worked on was making the wildfires look more convincing and realistic. I looked at a lot of videos on the internet of wildfires and how they look from a distance, and one thing they all have in common is this massive smoke cloud. So I wanted to correct the color of the smoke and the dynamic of the smoke. Here you can see a sky crane drop from the rear seat facing backwards. This can help you do a drop a little bit more accurately in this view. This clip just gives a cool sight of how the smoke rises up the terrain. So I'm really liking how the new smoke effects look. Another thing you guys should be super excited about is I finally added drafting from water. I mentioned it in the last video, but this time I actually implemented it. So you can use a relay line or a supply line and connect it to any body of water on the map, and it works just like a hydrant would. It's useful because hydrants are very scarce on the north side of the map. So here's another clip showing the county fire helicopter. and refilling in the lake. So one of the things I'm most excited to show is the smoke jumpers. In real life, the smoke jumpers basically parachute from a plane into areas that are not accessible by ground units and just difficult terrain that you wouldn't be able to walk to. Or so they're, in this case, we're jumping ahead of the fire, which is in a difficult area to reach, and we've got our chainsaw with us so that we can start to cut trees ahead of the fire before the fire spreads to those trees and uses them as fuel. So this last week I've really been able to test my my skill and adding these new things that I sort of envisioned last week, and now they're in the game full-fledged. So a lot of people say, well, this is a game about New York City. Well, true, but I also don't want that to limit, you know, the potential of what we could do with this game, you know. So I'm glad that people have it's been mostly positive feedback, and people are super excited about this update. I know I am, and there hasn't really been a game like this in terms of wildland firefighting. So I hope you guys really enjoy, and like I said, coming very soon. I'm just ironing out some things, and you can see we're making loads of progress. This last clip is a rear view of the Sikorsky Sky Crane refilling in the lake. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the release, and stay safe.